Hi, I'm Russ Moyer. Welcome to the Prophetic Edge. What an exciting moment, time, and season that we're in. I want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that your holiday season was absolutely wonderful and exciting. I hope and believe in my heart, and hope is that next step, expecting wonderful things for you, divine appointments, destiny encounters, prophetic moments, signs, wonders, and miracles. As you come into alignment for the great harvest that's about to happen. This is a very busy season, and I want to encourage you to enjoy the season. But remember the reason for the season and to lift his name up and his heart up and everything, and he'll draw all men to you in the midst of the season. But also to prepare your heart and to prepare your step and to prepare your life and to plan for the year ahead according to his purpose and his plan. There are things that are going on all around us, chaos and anarchy. And over the last 3 weeks or so, I've been sharing with you things that are going on in the United States and the nations of the world, some of the politically sensitive things. And coincidentally, in the meantime, I've not been able to be on Facebook with you. That somehow or another, I'm not on Facebook. Probably big coincidence. You know how coincidences go. Probably nothing more than a coincidence, unless you're prophetic, and then you know that the steps of a righteous man are ordered of the Lord. So there ain't no coincidences and accidents. Hello? God's got everything covered. In the midst of any and all persecution, hindrances, and obstacles, it's all working together for our good and for his glory. He's at work behind the scenes. He always makes a way. Nothing that happens to us is unique to us as man, but it's common to us, all of mankind. And he never gives us more than we can handle. And he always makes a way of escape, it says in 1 Corinthians 10:13. So I need to know that he's working behind the scenes, that he's on the job, that this is not too much, that he knows I can handle or he wouldn't send it my way. He's weighing some things in my heart right now about what's going to happen in the new year, and they seem so big, so outrageous, so beyond me. But that's part of how God works, and knowing that he can do all things to us and through us if we yield and submit and surrender. The chaos and the anarchy and the barrenness of the moment is a great birthing time prophetically and a fertile time, that in the midst of all of this, opportunity is abundant everywhere, heavy laden with opportunity and harvest all around us. But it's what I see and what I perceive. So I want you to begin to look at things through his eyes, through his heart, through his thing. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is to continue to cultivate this relationship and bind your mind to the mind of Christ. Commit continually to surrender before him. And as you see these things that are happening around you, in the midst of all of that, have the peace knowing he's in charge, that he's going to work it all out. Don't show that panic that the world has, but the shalom peace that Christ puts in you. That's one of the purposes of the prophetic, so that I can see Christ in all these situations and that I know the end. So as I'm going through that Job experience, I can press into Job 42 for the double blessing that's coming my way. I remember when he first started talking to me about this Job experience that I've gone through the last 7 or 8 years. I'm in the midst of that, and I'm saying, well, hey, but that's only Job 13. I said, there's a lot of things got to happen yet. He says, so I want you to lean into 42, press in to 42. I'm pressing right into 42 with the double blessing, for the Jubilee harvest, for the restoration of all things in my life, for recompense, for reward. for harvest, refreshing, revival, restoring everything that was taken and stolen. I feel like when we talked about the 3 R's and the prophetic thing in the book, and I was only speaking of what I have. I've been refreshed, revived, restored right before your eyes. I'm a miracle. I don't got to go through the whole testimony of, the cancer diagnosis, the treatment, the crazy nonsense, the near-death experiences, the world, the system, the medical care system, counting you out. I have stronger and better and feel better than I have in 15 years. Even all my energy and strength comes back. I've traveled this year more extensively than I had in 10 years. I feel better. I feel younger, like I've been renewed, like I've been strengthened. In the midst of all of this, you can find your place and your way and who you are and what you're doing. Hey, every now and then you hear a bark in the background, wherever I'm at. This time I happen to be in Hamilton, but I have Ruby Joy with me, and she's here with me on the Prophetic Edge. She hangs out, got a little thing. Ruby Joy, superstar, #1. I'll tell you, those pups have been such a blessing, and to see them in the birthing process and the wonder and awe of God in the midst of them and life, the stress, the pressure, the turmoil of the life process is a beautiful experience. It brought me so much peace. I know some of you out there have pets and have friends, have situations, you're going through stuff. Your nest is a mess. He wants to take that mess and turn it into a miracle. And that's what he's going to do with America, but we got to wake up. All of the stuff that's going on right now, if we don't stand up, who's going to stand up? I try to stay as open-minded and focused just on the gospel of the kingdom, and I preach that. I preach the gospel of the kingdom, the fullness of the gospel of the kingdom. That includes the 7 mountains. That includes prosperity. That includes trials, tribulations, victories. That includes kingdom rule and reign. That includes miracles, signs, and wonders. That includes the gifts and the power of the Spirit and the presence and the glory of God. The transforming power of the kingdom and the gospel of the kingdom. The will and the purpose and the vision of the King. I declare it, I proclaim it, I live it every day. I live right on the prophetic edge. I live in a place of faith. I live in the midst of the turmoil of things that are going on in the world. They can't cancel me. But I have to be able to discern and not allow their voices to influence me. I have to know the truth and the purpose and the plan of God. I have to understand it. I have to see it. I have to know what he's trying to do right now. I have to understand history and what's unfolding. I have to understand biblical history, biblical truth, the biblical season that we're in. I have to awaken to it. I feel so sad of what's going on now because I know that the season that we're in, he's separating the sheep nations from the goat nations. And the point of contact is certainly going to be the nation of Israel. And it's the timepiece of God. It's always, the nation of Israel is a sign and a wonder. And it is his timepiece. And it is his beloved. And it is the apple of his eye. I got to know where he's at and what he stands for. He's a Jew. He's always been a Jew. He's going to be a Jew. His mama was a Jew. Every one of them that the church was birthed, only Jews, no Gentiles in the upper room, all Jews. I have to know my Jewish roots. I have to understand that there's blood on my hands as part of the heritage of the church and what we've done. I have to know Jesus, my divine healer. Michael Brown was the president of the Bible school I went to, one of the Old Testament scholars, one of the greatest ones in the world today, but also with a great New Testament revelation of one new man, how things are going to unfold in the end days. If you haven't read from him, he's very prophetic, very powerful, very biblically rooted, powerful and wonderful man of God who had a great influence on my life over the years. But so have many Jewish believers, and we're pressing into something right now. He's separating the sheep nations from the goat nations, yes. But we're also at the prelude to the greatest harvest in history. And the other revelation in the parable that's taking place right now is separating the wheat from the tares. They said to him, let's separate that down. And let's pull them out, the tares. And he said, no, wait till right before the harvest, till they're full grown, so you know them apart. And then I shall take out the tares and throw them on the fire. And take the wheat, reap the harvest. So both of those revelations, one's happening in the world, the other one's happening in every one of our hearts and in the body of Christ. As we step into this, everybody's not going to go to the next place, to the next level, to the next thing. Don't try to bring them. Not your responsibility to weigh the hearts of men, nor the hearts of nations. Him and him alone knows the place, the posture, and position. Even when James and John's mother, the sons of Zebedee, said, when you come into your kingdom, put one of my sons at your right hand and one at my left. And he said, it's not mine to do, not mine to choose. The Father knows, and he's weighing the hearts of men, weighing the hearts of nations. As we step into the greatest and most impactful season, to the deepest place of the harvest and the end time battle in all of history. Choices right now are more important than ever. And our choices will be who we are. Not the words that we say, but the decisions and choices that we make every day. And as a nation, the United States is making some extremely poor choices over the last few years, one right after another. All the things that are politically sensitive. Without borders, you have no freedom. Real freedom comes with boundaries and borders. Healthy boundaries. Keep us safe. Right now we're under siege. We're in the midst of war. If some prophet out there is saying peace, peace, get up and run. They're in deception. We've been in a war for the last 7 years. These people have been crying peace, peace. They got a mess on their hands right now. And the people that listen to them, the seeker friendly, the powder puff prophets. There's a war going on. A war of good and evil. You got to get up off the floor and go to war. You got to have a warrior's mindset. You got to know what's going on. You got to tie it into the physical and the spiritual that work together and work together. As it is in the spirit, so it is in the natural. The things that are going on around the world are bad choices that we're making on every part of the political system. The war that's raging now is raging against freedom, free enterprise, the free world. The war between good and evil. And it's raging on many fronts. I want you to know that what's going on in Ukraine is not the target. This is a spiritual war as well as a natural war. They're after America. By the way, we're the target. We're the target and the symbol of free enterprise and freedom. They're trying to change that, take us down. They're fighting us economically. The battle that's going on with health and the viruses and COVID. By the way, that was part of an attack. Attacking our economics, our economy, our government, our life, attacking our values and our core values, bringing confusion and deception between good and evil, letting us not even know who's our friend and who's our foe, by dropping our guard and open up our boundaries and barriers and come down right before our eyes, and all of a sudden we're being attacked naturally and spiritually, economically, politically. Deception is rampant. So is sin, because of lack of the fear of the Lord, because of lack of integrity and character. What we're seeing unfold right now, what's being revealed, and I've been telling people that we haven't seen everything yet. That He is revealing everything, revealing every single thing right now. He's unveiling and revealing. Everything that's been hidden is going to be exposed. We're going to find out that this is the most challenging moment in history, and it's been going on all this time. What's going on right now and the exposure to things that happened in the Biden family and in this last 15 years, 12 years, 15 years. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. This is the biggest scandal in the history of America. Let's look back on what happened with Richard Nixon. You got to know history. You got to be able to look back so you can look ahead, so you can learn, so you can grow. This is the worst thing ever happened in history. Watergate was a political burglary looking for information, but that wasn't even the big thing that got Richard Nixon to quit, to be impeached, and all of that. The hugest scandal was Watergate. It cost him to lose the presidency. It was only a cover-up of a burglary. This that we've been experiencing and what is going to continue to be exposed is highway robbery. It's theft in action. It's evil. You're going to see the depths of the evil. Here, Trump wanted to go to the bottom of the swamp, but he's just a man. Did he do some good and do some damage? Like all men. But you know what? God wants out the swamp, and He's going to reveal it, and He's going to expose it, and He's going to turn it upside down so it's right side up, and He is going to make America take notice, to stand up and realize that if we want our freedom, we're going to have to stand up for it. Right now, there's an attack going on in our educational system. Hello? You have to wonder what they know. When you see the polls of what's done, you realize that these are people that have had wrong training, wrong background, that they have no foundation of understanding of real truth, of good and evil, the sign of the times, the history and the format. They totally don't understand. Lost their compass. What's happened at Harvard? I want to tell you what, right now, we haven't seen the depth of, they lost millions and millions of dollars, I'm sure, in support. But worse than that, the credibility of their university and their education and the students that they're graduating and that have graduated the last 10 years. Hello? The credibility of that certificate, it's not what it was. Because you can see what it's producing. Know a tree by the fruit it bears. There's something bad in the root. And when we allow these things to happen at the university level and we support it with governmental funds, the first thing we need to do is to defund these things, to stop it. Our own personal funding, don't allow the government to fund on my behalf education that is anti-freedom and liberty, free speech, that's anti-constitution. No, I don't want to part of it. Wake up and awaken to the moment. You're talking about the woke generation? I'm talking about the generation that needs to awaken to the moment and to see things clearly as they are. That sees and understands law and order. That has an esteem for our first responders, for police and firemen, for our military men that go overseas, that are willing to defend our freedom, that are to bring law and order and protect our families and our homes and our properties, both at home and abroad. Hello? Let's give honor where honor's due so we can get honor's reward. Everybody now is beginning to see that what they tried to do and to defund the police and law enforcement has backfired completely. Everything that they have done has totally backfired because it was totally wrong. We lost our moral compass. We lost our ability to speak and to declare our right to freedom of free speech, freedom of religion, to make choices based on our faith. We got to stand up, rise up. If not us, who? If not now, when? This is the moment where the hearts of men and nations are being tried, tested, and weighed. We have a responsibility to our children, our children's children. Look at what's going on right now around the world on 3 or 4 different fronts. Look at what's going on in the Middle East. Look at what's going on with Israel. Look what's going on with the different points in power. Look, it's everywhere around us. That whole thing is cooking, and the sides right now are being chosen. The word of God is being fulfilled before our eyes, and the good and evil are being separated and set up. We need to wake up. Right now, America is being attacked. Since October the 7th, when the attacks began on Israel, not long after that, they began on the United States because the United States is actually the free will target of good. When they went after Israel, they're going after us. The same way they went after Ukraine, they're going after us. The economy is being attacked. Worldwide freedom. They're after us, not our money. But they know that the economic battles and wars, and they're bringing in, they know how to fight economically. So that front is going on. There are many different fronts to this battle of good and evil. You have to know who's who and what's what. You have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. But you look at history as well. Look at what's going on in the greatest water passage, one of the most vital water passages in the world right now is under siege, under attack. And they're not only attacking our bases, but attacking our ships and making it so passage there is being rerouted to go around the world, which is going to cause economic turmoil. Hello? Prices to rise up. Delivery uncertain. We don't have to put up with that. When you're attacked, we've been attacked 100 times, yet America fails to respond. Catch ourselves, block it. Hey, I'm walking down the street, some guy attacks me, so I block it. No, I keep walking, somebody else does it. Somebody else does it. That's what's happening all over the world right now. We're being attacked, we're blocking it, and we're real proud of the fact that we're blocking it. When are you going to respond? When are you going to respond appropriately to stop the future attacks? They're not going to stop on their own. We're going to have to stand up. When under that same situation many years ago, under the Reagan administration, when we were threatened in that passageway and under attack, he took out more than a third of the Navy of Iran. He cut them in every way. He responded appropriately to the need of the moment to declare freedom and allow freedom and freedom of movement, freedom of speech, freedom, free enterprise to flow. They're going all the way up and around the whole continent, costing billions and millions of dollars, reshipping. Why? In fear? What are you afraid of? We're not supposed to act in fear. We're the primary leader of the free world. If we're in fear and we're handcuffed and we're under attack, all of the free world is threatened. And freedom and free enterprise. Let's respond appropriately to take our rightful place of leadership in the nations of the world, to take authority over this situation and those powers and forces that are attacking us. Let's respond appropriately. Not get caught up in all these things. Let's respond appropriately at the border, respond appropriately in the economy, respond appropriately in law and order, respond appropriately as the nations are being attacked, respond appropriately to say what was the source of what happened in COVID. Truth is the only antidote for deception, and we've been walking around in deception. And then what's going on in our universities? Quit funding it. Why fund it? You know what? I love my children. Everybody, I'm sure, loves their children. I love my children. I wanted to give them all the things I never had because the place I grew up, and I grew up in poverty and pain and hurt, and crazy circumstances and situations. I wanted a better life for them, just like you want a better life for your kids and everything like that. I wanted to help them. I wanted to give them money. I wanted to give them support different times and different seasons. But I had to make sure that it was being utilized properly before I gave those resources. Because the last thing that I wanted to do was to fund their folly, to fund their bad behavior. I have to know the time to hold on, time to let go, the time to say yes and the time to say no. I have to understand the seasons. And this is a season that America needs to respond. They need to reach deep inside themselves and respond as Americans. And I know, I've been around a long time. I know you're out there. I know that you're the leaders that God has ordained and touched in this season, that you're that generation, that you're out there, that you have the knowledge, you have the information. The compass is right in your heart, but you're there. But you've seen what happens to somebody that steps up and takes political action, steps up and says, enough's enough. Here's the line. You've seen that. And that fear has you handcuffed and saying, hey, let somebody else do it. I'll pursue my goals. And I say to you what John F. Kennedy said. As much as I was politically adverse to some of his decisions, the one thing that he said that made more sense than anything else to me was, it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. It's the same in the kingdom. It's not what God can do for you, but what you can do for God. Change this thing around. Take responsibility for our freedom. Take responsibility for our salvation. As the Baptist said, show me the fruit of your salvation. Stand up, declare truth, persecute evil. You have to, you need to. It's happening all around us. We need to be bold and courageous enough to follow through on the hard decisions and choices that need to be made in this moment. In every one of those 7 mountains of influence, in media and education and government and business. I did business for 21 years and still do kingdom business now. I was able to do it with a handshake. You had a man's word, and his word was worth something because our core values were right. It's time to right the boat, right the ship. It's time to stand for right and righteousness, for truth, for honesty, for integrity and character. America, rise up. Canada, rise up. Rise up and wise up. Wisdom and discernment. I love you, but it's time for us to make our voice made heard. I'm not talking about revolt. I'm saying to stand up for righteousness. To stand up for who you are and who we are and the foundational truths and values that our nation was based on. Stand up for truth now. Pay the price that every generation has to pay. Our battles are different than those of World War II and Vietnam, World War I, Korea, the Cold War. But every generation has their battles. And we need to fight with freedom and free liberty as we go into 2024. God's in the midst of doing something, and we need to find ourselves on the right side. And we need to rise up and be who we are, who we're called to be, to reach our destiny, to stand for righteousness and right, to stand against evil, to bring truth, to cancel deception, to fund what is right. Because what you feed is going to grow, and what you starve is going to disintegrate right before your eyes. We need to starve things. We need to use proper judgment, thoughts, wisdom, and discernment. I love you, but it's a destiny moment right now. This is the season we're in. It's a destiny moment for our generation. I love you. I want to wish you and your family a wonderful Christmas and a happy and a healthy and a prosperous new year. I want to encourage you to rise up and arise and shine. Let your voice be made heard. To do it in a righteous way and in a right way with character and integrity. Now, I'm not talking about getting out there and acting crazy. We need to stop all the craziness with the peace that is shalom, that is in Christ, that is in truth. It's a righteous battle that's going on inside that's going to bring real peace, lasting peace. Come on now. I love you. God bless you. You have a wonderful day. Share my heart a little bit with you for the moment. Open doors and more in 24. Press in, press on. We got a Harvest Jubilee coming. Hey, tune in with us as we press into this new season for our New Year's watch night services and New Year's services where we declare the word of the Lord for the new year. Look at what we said for 23. Plan for the future. Know what's going on. Hear the voice of the Lord. Connect with us. Hey, we got winter camp coming in January and February. I'll be in Ashland, Virginia as well. I'll be in Pensacola, Florida during a winter camp. I'll be in Ashland, Virginia. Going to be out in the Maritimes. Going to be in the nations of the world. It's a wonderful time and moment and season. Press in. Come on out of the old and into the new. God bless you in this new year. God bless you and your family. God bless you with everything that's necessary to win this great battle that we're in. I love you and appreciate it. I love America. God bless America. I love Canada. God bless Canada. Two of the greatest nations of the world. Kissing cousins. Walking together, working together, living together. I'm a citizen of both. But first and foremost, I'm a citizen of the kingdom. Let his kingdom come. Let his will be done in your life and in the nations of the world in 2024. God bless you and have a great day.